Hi everyone, welcome to our webinar, How to Ace Digital Transformation to Build Future Ready Teams. COVID-19 has forced organizations to rethink workplace scenarios, and we have more or less adapted to the new normal. The pandemic, however, has not been able to slow down one thing, and that is the rapid technological change we are witnessing. We all are already in Industry 4.0 and rapidly heading into Industry 5.0. While this change is happening, we must have a workforce that is ready for the future. In today's webinar, our CTO and co-founder Sujit Karpe will speak about the secret sauce of an effective digital transformation strategy that will help you to build future-ready teams faster. During the webinar, you can post your questions in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screens, and we will answer all the questions at the end of the session. Over to you, Sujit.
Thanks, Neha. Hey, good morning, everyone. I'll quickly share my screen. Neha, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, Sujit, I can.
Okay, perfect. Great. So this is a quick, rather than I would say a webinar, I would say it's a kind of a realization that we are in a big, massive digital transformation. And while it's happening, it's very important for us to focus on building the right culture, building the right team within an organization. And how can we use digital transformation as a tool itself to build the future ready teams, right? So that's one of the topics which I've been thinking personally for last more than a year. And there are few things which I've read here and there, uh, uh, realize few of the examples, implementing few things within our organization, implementing few things for our customer. So I'm just going to share some stories with you on how to do it uh, in a step-by-step process in the next 30 minutes. So this was a surprise to me that very soon it's going to be Industry 5.0, right? And it's already emerging, right? And Industry 5.0 is the place where it's an interaction between the man and machine, right? So I always thought we are in the fourth industrial revolution, but already we are started getting into the fifth revolution, and it's going to be more challenging for all of us, because in the previous revolutions, the technology or the machineries were actually helping us to get our job done, but they were not working with us. Here it's going to be that we have to collaborate with the machine. So it's going to be the man and machine collaboration. Or you can say, I'm not biased towards something, it's the women and machine more, right? So, so what's impact it's going to have on our daily lives, right? So while Gartner says that AI is going to create more jobs than it's going to take away jobs from us. So the prediction by Gartner a couple of years ago that in 2020, by 2020, Gartner will create 2.3 million jobs versus 1.5, 1.8 million jobs lost, right? So what are those jobs which are going to be taken away, and what are the new jobs which are going to come? So like we knew, all in customer service, where when Google launched OK Google, there was a video by Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google, talking about the how he books an appointment with a receptionist at a dental clinic, and actually it's not a human speaking, but it's a voice enabled Google assistant talking to the customer, right? So similarly, a lot of support sales job in future and the marketing jobs would be automated with intelligent softwares, right? uh, there can be a digital assistant for everyone, right? So think of it as two employees for the price of one. a software doing a lot of your repetitive tasks. It prompts your employees to follow up with the customer, organize their calendars, their meetings. So if you have a digital assistant to do a job, then automatically you have more free time and you can do more intelligent job, right? So this is all going to happen, right? So is it going to are we going to require less people in the world because robots are doing the job? uh, I would say no, right? Humans are going to get away with the redundant, mundane task which we do, and we are going to start doing more intelligent tasks because we have more time with us, or we are also going to invest that time with having a good work and life balance by spending more quality time with our families. So, but there's a problem, right? So, with Industry 4.0 and 5.0 now coming, the problem is a report from McKinsey which indicates that 40% of the organizations in the United States alone are facing a dearth of skilled people, and outside United States, maybe that is 40, the number is around 60% in Europe, in Middle East, in Asian countries, right, where you don't have the skilled people to do the job. So why do you require so many skilled people? Are the skills getting redundant? Are the skills getting old? Or the people who are already educated and they're doing jobs? What is happening, right? So there's a skill gap, and the skill gap can come in multiple forms. Uh, One is newer generation, especially the millennials, struggling to find the suitable work because they started doing education in a particular field, but when they come into the job market, it has changed after 4 years, right? uh, Example, in 2010, nobody would have thought that everybody can have a chauffeur driven car in the world. It was next to impossible. But can we afford a chauffeur driven car? All of us? Yes. We all can have an Uber to go from point A to point B anywhere in the world, right? So we are having chauffeur driven car, right? 10 years later, maybe you will have a car without a chauffeur, a driverless car. Is it possible? It's possible, right? So they say in next 10 years, uh, 65% of the jobs would be completely new. So they are going to require new skills, and those skills or those jobs don't exist today, right? So millennials are going to always face different challenges they want when they get into the workforce, that the skills what they have learned, they are not more required, they are no more required, and you need to keep on upskilling. Then there are mid-career individuals who are unskilled due to changing skill matrix in the world, right? Like I started my career with IBM, working on IBM Lotus and IBM WebSphere portal server. From there to technologies like Salesforce to SAP, right? There to cloud, mobility. The things have changed so much, and to keep myself updated, I guess I have to invest every year 20 to 30% of my time just into learning and upskilling myself. Else, maybe my skills outdated in this today's market. Whatever education I did is completely outdated, right? And there are also a lot of individuals who are unemployed due to the layoffs. So there are a lot of skill gaps getting created at different levels, and that's why the statement is true that 40% organizations in the United States alone are facing a dearth of skilled people. So there's a skill gap, right? Then how to build the future ready teams? If you know there's a skill gap, there's a problem. Uh, the obvious solution is hire new talent, right? But where are you going to hire new talent from? Because outside your company, there's this, the problem exists. This problem is not within your company. This is a problem the world is facing. So the only thing is upskilling of your existing talent. And digital transformation is not only about upgrading a technology or your business processes. It's not just about the organization, it's about the people that are connected with you, the people that are connected with you as employees, the people that are connected with you as vendors, the people that are connected with you as customers. It's all about people. If you want to build, if you want to have amazing digital transformation implemented for your company, so you need to focus on the future ready teams. So you need to upskill the existing talent, and that talent is your employees, it's your vendors, it's your customers, everyone, right? So how are you going to do that? uh, this is a amazing explanation somebody told me about innovative digital transformation, where it's a quadrant where on the right hand side, the top right corner, which is always a win-win quadrant, it's a future ready. It's a transform quadrant. On the y-axis you can see customer experience, and the x-axis you see operational efficiency. And the traditional is silos and spaghetti. The traditional customer experience is integrated experience. The operational efficiency is about industrialized. And then finally the win-win is future ready, which is both innovative and low cost, great customer experience, modular and agile, data strategic asset, ecosystem ready, right? And when I saw this as a digital transformation, I really didn't understand, right? Extremely difficult to understand. uh, so this is the example which I came up with through a realization that what is this all about, right? So let's take an example and then we'll come back to this quadrant. This is a new washing machine by LG. And you can see a lady is operating that washing machine sitting on the couch or maybe sitting in her office, right? So it's a hassle-free control via smartphones, right? This is an example of innovative digital transformation. So let's see what is all happening. A mobile in the hand of the customer, a device which is looking extremely cool with a nice color, with a nice design. So amazing UX design and a user experience. Uh, and now let's go back and see what LG has done. Now let's see the customer experience, the y-axis, the transformed quadrant, integrated experience. Customer gets a integrated experience despite complex operation. Operating washing machines is a little bit complex, but you are now giving an integrated experience through a mobile. So that's the third point, rich mobile experience, including purchasing products. Strong design and user experience. The product is amazing, having a strong design and amazing user experience. Now to do this, what did a company did internally? They created and plug and play products, which is the x-axis, the transform quadrant, service enabled crown jewels, one best way to do each key task, single source of truth, which is all driven by amazing data, right? And you get a future ready product, which is innovative, which is low cost, great customer experience, because maybe the uh, operating system required to do this. Now that even a washing machine is having an operating system, maybe that came from a vendor, let's say Microsoft, okay, and the mobile operating system, which is on Android, that came from, let's say, Google. Now you have a lot of data being exchanged through IoT devices or through Wi-Fi technology. So data is a strategic asset over there, and then you have an ecosystem which is ready, right? And to do this, you actually ask your vendors to change, you ask your employees to change, and now you're asking even your customers to change, right? So you're actually changing or digitizing each and every people which is connected to your organization, right? So I would say this is an amazing digital transformation which a company like LG has done, right? So I guess once you understand this example, then it would be very easy for you to implement and digital transformation within your organization and how to ace it to build a future ready teams. But it's very important to understand this quadrant with a particular example, that what all changes are required to do this. And without doing a digital transformation today and really investing in it, I guess if you don't do it in next 3 to 5 years, your company, your organization would really lose a lot of market share. Who are you going to lose to? You're going to lose to your current competitors, or you are going to maybe lose to your new competitors, right? Never Hilton or Marriott ever thought that the new competitor is going to be Airbnb, where they're going to have more rooms in the hotel than within 10 years than what it took them to build 50 years, right? So competition can come from anywhere. So you need to invest in people, and you need to invest into the digital transformation to understand the new age, which is the industrial 5.0, where man and machine are going to work together. I hope I'm making sense till now, at least not with this particular slide, but with this particular slide, I guess I'm making a lot of sense. So let's moving on how to do this, right? Once we know that, hey, we have to uh, build future ready teams, then what are the ideas to do that through digital transformation? So let's go through these ideas quickly, right? Okay. So one is digitized business processes connected with employees, right? So first thing is it's all about people. So you're the first people are your employees. Can you make sure that whatever your employees are interacting internally, all the processes around them are digitized? And you may say that, hey, our employees are in the mid 30s, mid 40s, and they're not digitally oriented. You're a big commercial bank, or you're a manufacturing company or a IT company. I would say that's not true. You will find the people in mid 30s or 40s, their adoption through a mobile or a social networking sites like Facebook and LinkedIn is as good as the millennials which are entering the job market. So that cannot be an excuse. And how to do that? Simple things. Announcement nowadays. Anything happening in your company, you're making an announcement, you've got a big customer, your quarterly results, a new employee joining, you send an email. Can that be through a video, right? And nowadays on LinkedIn, on Facebook, more than the text, we love to see the videos. So make an announcement through a video makeover. uh, Lose the tie, be informal with a decentralized workforce. Especially with COVID, we have realized how important it is to have a decentralized workforce, right? And make it very informal for interactions. Make it a game. Have gamification wherever possible. And simple example can be, most of the employees in the pharmaceutical sector or in a lot of manufacturing setup have to go through a lot of compliance tests and activities. Can you give some awards or some achievements when they get the top score in it? And it's published to other employees, it's published on social media. Can you make it kind of a fun and a gamification around them? Make them connected with a digital assets as much as possible. I would say that's the first steps towards digital transformation, and you're making your employees more and more digital. The next thing is the customer experience. That's what we saw with the LG example, with the washing machine. Let it be our point of sale system, let it be online transactions, your purchasing. Make it easy to book a car through an online mechanism. Make it easy to buy somebody any of your products, maybe shoes or anything, through online interactions. Leverage business analytics to enhance customer experience as much as possible, right? And provide a connected experience to your customers using IoT or Wi-Fi technologies as much as possible, right? So uplift your customer experience wherever possible, make it more digitized. That's the second step, I would say. Again, we are talking about customers, so we are again talking about people. Okay, start leveraging exponential technologies, and the exponential technologies can be sensor technology, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, nanotechnology. uh, why are these technologies taking a lot of rhythm right now, I would say, or pace? They're catching a pace. It's all about the name itself. Exponential technologies by definition, technologies that follow an exponential growth pattern. So as per Moore's law, the performance of microchips, bandwidth, and computer doubles every 18 months, right? So the massive computational power available in the world today, and it's just going to increase. So start investing in this exponential technologies in whatever business you are, and you will find that there's an exponential growth eventually you're going to achieve for your company. So we talked about employees, we talked about customers, we talked about technologies which are disruptive in nature. I would say the most important part is the domains transformation, and many businesses lack because they fail to identify potential opportunities for domain transformation. Uh, what is domain transformation? I would say it's just an example of Domino's Pizza, right? There are many pizza large organizations which are like it's their global chains of and outlets they are having, right? But if you have to have a pizza, or even if you have to have a Domino's burger, or you want to have a Starbucks coffee, right? Or it's a Pizza Hut burger of with Domino's, or sorry, a McDonald's, or a Starbucks coffee, I have to go to a Starbucks. I have to go to a Dunkin' Donuts to have a donut, right? They don't deliver at home. But whenever I want to think about Domino's, I never think of going to Domino's and having a pizza. I always think about, hey, they're going to deliver it to my place. So there's a domain transformation. right? The same business of food, the same business of making pizza, but the transformation is they are identifying a need where people want to eat at home with family, right? And they're going to deliver the pizza at home. What's going to happen? See what in COVID it's happening, right? Maybe their business is going to just jump up very high because anyways the restaurants and things are closed and they are masters in delivering pizza, right? So you need to understand the domain transformation. The example of Airbnb versus Hilton or Airbnb versus Marriott, right? Again, a domain transformation. So you need to identify that what are the non-traditional ways, non-traditional market you can serve in the future, right? Uh, Rather than the currently occupied verticals. So that's very important to understand the domain transformation. You need to have some think tanks in the company to think about this continuously because it's industry 5.0. The next important thing is cultural transformation, and I guess that's the most critical thing. While you talk about changing people's skills, you talk about changing people, implementing new technology, it's about the culture. And I would say culture, there's a very good definition which I read somewhere about what is cultural transformation. Cultural transformation requires changing the hearts, minds, and skills of the workforce to support the desired culture. Right now, is it possible to you can change the heart and mind, but can you quantify it? Can you quantify somebody's heart has changed or mind has changed? Very difficult. But can you quantify somebody's skills has changed? Yes. So at least one part is the skills where you can do a qualitative and a quantitative measurement of your workforce to support the desired culture. So at least you can invest in the skills heavily, and other things while you'll have to invest, it's difficult to quantify, right? So cultural transformation is where you're changing the hearts, minds, and skills of the workforce. While you're doing these things, and we always think about the skills as a hard skills, right? I think from the digital transformation perspective, for building the future ready teams, it's not about the hard skills. I guess it's more about the soft skills, because hard skills are changing continuously. So people need to adapt to it. People need to be more resilient to it. So you need to focus also on the soft skills while you're investing in hard skills. You also need to invest in the soft skills of your workforce. And these are the some innovative ways of upskilling your talent, right? Like if you see, the previous way was more of a degree focus, right? Which university are you graduated from? What does your degree says? Now it's skill focus. It's about what skill are you having today, right? Previously it was transaction focus. Now it's more people focus. You need to invest in more skill based people development rather than going through the HR data and the processes. You need to have integrated people and work solutions, and all this thing need to be real time. It's need to be agile because the skills are going to change rapidly, right? And you need to focus on somebody's skill proficiency versus how much experience he is having. And it was a job experience versus you need to focus on the skill proficiency of the people. So you need to focus on some of the innovative ways for upskilling your talent. Focus more on the soft skills. Again, the soft skills are of different types, right? They're traditional soft skills which help in digital transformation, but these are the not the only ones, right? We have been talking about, hey, you should be resilient, adaptable, you should be analytical, you should be curious, proactive, process oriented. But these are all individual skills, right? We are still not talking about the interconnected skills, and which are much more required to enable digital transformation. And those interconnected skills are the four C's, which I call, and those four C's are uh, uh, collaboration, right? Uh, do you interact with others remotely and work towards a common goal? Are you collaborative in nature? This is the very important skill for digital transformation and to build the future ready teams. Communicative. Do you communicate with your colleagues, your employees, with your customers, with your vendors, and do you influence them and maintain a particular rapport with others via technology, right? That can be any communication tools which a company is providing you, right? How frequently you use and how do you influence other people? Commercial aspect. Do you understand the business, the need of the customers, and develop new opportunities? And coaching mindset. Support the development of others and motivate them through feedback and encouragement. That is the coaching mindset. So this four C or the four soft skills are very much required today to build the future ready teams, and even for the digital transformation. And somewhere, as a part of the L&D teams, learning and development team in an organization, you need to invest apart from the hard skills on the soft skills as well, and make sure the skills are kind of developed, and they take time, so it won't happen within 3 months, but you're able to develop these skills through some internal programs over a period of like a 1 year or 2 year. The benefits or what you will get for your business is would be amazing, right? You need to invest into a very good skill transformation program in your organization. While we talk about uh, the product, we talk about having innovative product, investing into uh, transforming technologies and all. At the end of the day, it's all about upskilling your people, right? So you need to have a very good learning ecosystem, amazing L&D team within a company, where the people who are thinking about what are the new technologies to incubate in your organization, new skills to be incubated in your organization, creating the right curriculum, designing the required trainings, designing the required practical scenarios, required skill assessment programs around it, and partnership with some vendors to develop these programs, and a skill assessment at every step to measure the progress. We have done some agile upscaling plan, what we talk about over here in the previous slide. We have done for some of the companies, from some of the customers in the technology and the engineering sector, where we benchmark the profile skills for them with the L&D team, work with them for identifying the different upskilling programs, and then develop the required skill assessments for them to get into the new role. And while the word is agile, it's very important over here, because if you see the upskilling column, the second, the recommended training, everything is from 2 to 4 weeks. You cannot have a 3 months or a 6 months training programs. And now I would say that will lose, you lose the agility. And once you lose the agility, the output would be like a waterfall model, and you will see, you'll never realize what is changing. So you have to be very agile in all your training programs internally in the organization. At Imoka, we do this for our customers. We help them build a skill meter for the organization, and that skill meter talks about where is your current skill proficiency of the people. Let it be the hard skills, let it be the soft skills. Is it at a intermediate level, proficient level? And as the visionaries of the company, your CEOs, your CXOs, for a particular skill set which is very transformative for the company, they think, hey, everybody need to be at least at a master level or a proficient level. So you need to know what is your current level, you need to know where you need to head towards, you need to know what is your gap once, and you need to measure your gap and your progress on a weekly or a monthly basis to achieve that. uh, I guess you need to have a skill meter for your organization to ensure that you are at least in the entire cultural transformation, you're not measuring the heart and the mind, but at least you're measuring the skill, which is very much required to build the future ready teams. So that's it from my side. I just wanted to wrap up my thought process, whatever I've put across, in around 30 to 40 minutes, and leave the forum more for question and answer. So if you have any specific questions on about the digital transformation or building future ready teams, how we are doing for our customers, or anything comes to your mind, please feel free to ask, and I'm going to be happy to answer.
Thanks, Sujit. That was a very interesting session, and we already have like five questions. So we'll just go through one by one. One is Sam has asked, how should you take a decision, and based on what data, like new hires with the right new skills or train existing employees for new skills?
I would say it has to be a mix of both. Okay, you cannot go on either way. but the best thing would be first investing in your current talent, because anyways if you're going to hire new people, what your current employees are going to do, right? So that's a big thing. And whenever you're going to hire a new people, are they going to stay with your organization? They are always as a risk. Now you know your internal people, they know your culture, you know their soft skills, their reporting managers know how a particular employee behaves. So you already have that data, so that data makes a lot of sense, and you know what are the strengths of a particular employee and what are the weaknesses. Now if you can invest in some of the hard skills and soft skills with them, maybe they are ready for the future ready workforce, right? So I would say going ahead with investing in the current team is much more as a long term strategy, because even if you're going to hire a new person, after a 1 or 2 year he's going to become your employee, and then if the skills change, what are you going to do with, again you're going to go with a new hire, what are you going to do with that current person, right? So you need to have a very good investment into the complete upskilling program for your current employees, and definitely there'll be some gaps which cannot be bridged internally, and you need to hire people from outside. So the ratio can be I would say 70/30. It can even go to 60/40, where 60% or 70% always is investing in upskilling, and the remaining gaps which you fill can always be breached by hiring the new talent from the market.
All right. So Yogita has one question. She has asked any best practices for onboarding, training new employees in the virtual setup, as it is also about culture acclimatization for new folks.
Hey, Neha, it took some time for me to comprehend the question. Can you please repeat the question?
Sure, sure. The question is any best practices for onboarding or training new employees in the virtual setup, as it is also about cultural acclimatization for new people.
This is a very good question, actually. And when I was having a conversation with one of the chief people officer for one of the customers, I would say a couple of weeks ago, he asked me a very interesting question. He said, "We are using your software actually to hire new talent, and we are measuring hard skills, right? We would also like to measure some soft skills, like cognitive skills and the behavioral skills." And I said, "Why? What's the reason for that?" He said try to understand, previously the company, the when the interviews would happen, the final round of interview would happen with the hiring manager face to face, right? So the person knows who the hiring manager knows who is joining his team, how he looks like, how he behaves like. He has
Correct.
had interaction with him. When he joins the company, they work together, so they get to know about the new person, not about only his work, but about his soft skills, his behavior, his cognitive skills quickly within a couple of months. Now, the entire workforce is joining remotely. So you don't know the behavior patterns, you don't know the cognitive patterns. So if you do some assessments while he joins, not a psychometric, but more on the cognitive and the behavior side, the the team whom he's going to work with will at least have some kind of a basic data to know, hey, what is the cognitive of the behavioral pattern of this person. And then some training programs or some onboarding with the current team can be aligned with respect to that data. So I would say it has to be more data driven decisions, because it's all virtual nowadays. So you need to rely on something at least, and there should be some truth. And I would say data gives you the right truth. So have some processes to find out some cognitive or the behavioral patterns of the new people who are joining remotely. And then your training programs or onboarding, it's onboarding should not only be with the company or with your processes. The onboarding now has to be with the team as well. Previously they were joining the team, now they're joining the team virtually. So the team onboarding becomes an additional effort, where maybe the buddies are previously in a company there would be one buddy to assist a new joinee. Now maybe you need to have a buddy rotation, you need to have a buddy every week. Every team member becomes a buddy over a period of 4 to 8 weeks, so that he also gels with every team members virtually. So this kind of a changes you'll have to implement in your virtual onboarding. I hope that it was a longer answer, but a shorter thing to, if it is a short, like rely more on some data, try to find out the behavioral and the cognitive patterns while he joins or before he joins, share that with your team, and then create some programs based on that data.
Yes, Sujit. Another interesting question from Yatin. So, how would you prepare a skill meter for skills that are very new and don't have much industry insights?
So anything which is very new, like you can consider artificial intelligence or machine learning, where the maximum experience somebody would be having, relevant experience, would be hardly 3 to 5 years, right? So it's very difficult to benchmark, right? And build a skill meter for that. But then the best thing is you can do some internal benchmarking and try to find out the people who are already in your company on those new skills, right? What is their skill proficiency level? Is it a proficient? Is it an experience? Is it average? And that can be our basic benchmark. And then you need to invest into some training programs, some upskilling programs, where you're taking the benchmark, increase that percentage on every quarterly or a monthly basis. Monthly it's very difficult, but at least on a quarterly basis by some points, and try to go to the next level. So the benchmark comes by identifying some of your internal star performers, right? And whatever knowledge they are having, that can be your internal benchmark for the organization. Now if you want to upskill other people into that role, or you want to hire new talent, in either cases you have to at least get up to that particular benchmark.
Right. And Adrian has a question that how does Imoka ensure that our assessments are industry benchmarked?
So a couple of, I would say it's a process. The process, right, starts from the creation of the questions. So the questions are created by the industry experts, and there's a process of validation where there's a maker and a checker. So the maker says, hey, this question is on this particular topic, and this is the difficulty level of the question. The checker says, hey, I agree with this or disagree with this. So that's a kind of a more qualitative check. And a quantitative check is whenever people are appearing for different assessments at Imoka, we run some analytics on a monthly basis to find out what is the difficulty index of every question, which question is working for which particular job role or which particular skill proficiency. So there are a lot of data crunching happens on every month end. So we really get to know a particular assessment, is it really working for that organization or for our current customers or not, and we even validate with the customers. So after, I would say, 2 to 3 months, and once like hundreds of candidates have gone through that process across different customers around the world, we get a good amount of kind of industry validation, whether this is working or not working. So that's how our assessments are validated.
All right. And Sujit, Arthur has asked, what is the average duration for a skills gap analysis?
So, keeping it previously, I would say a lot of skill gap analysis programs were yearly driven, right? I would say, but rather than keeping that yearly, if you do it on a quarterly basis, it's much more effective and it's much more agile, because learning has become so simple, right? 10 years ago, forget about 10, even 5 years ago, imagine if you have to get a certification from Stanford or Oxford University. It was so difficult, right? You have to uh, pay the fees, which are thousands of dollars, travel over there, get educated for a couple of weeks or a month's course, and then appear for an assessment and then get a certification, right? Now the entire learning experience is very immersive, right? I can go to Udemy, I can go to Coursera, I can go to YouTube, and I can go through a video learning at my own pace, and I can complete a course within 1 or 2 months. So maybe this quarter I'm not data science expert or a robotics expert, but next quarter I'm a robotics expert because I did a course with University of Berkeley or Stanford and I have a certification. So and all this course are short duration, 2 months, 1 month, right? So if you do a skill gap analysis at your organization on a quarterly basis, it keeps the entire process very agile, very energetic, and people enjoy that. uh, at the end of the year it looks like somebody's doing a policing, somebody's just doing it for the sake of doing. So I would prefer it to be more quarterly and more gamified in the organization, and someone rewards given to the people whose skills are upgraded on every quarter.
Great. Sujit, another interesting question. So, you yourself are a co-founder of a fast-growing startup, and how has COVID affected your digital transformation plans?
I would say, since it's only 6 months, right? What did COVID affect? I would say more than quantitative. I would say it's more about more than the hard skills. I would say it's more about the soft skills. I've realized more than the hard skills, it's so important that each of your employees are trained and they know about the soft skills. How important is collaboration? How important is communication? How important is coaching? The forces which I talked about, and how important is to understand the customers in your business, because working remotely is so tough, right? So you need to be, you require more efforts to collaborate and communicate with your colleagues now than what you had required earlier. And this soft skills needs to be developed, which are, I would say, more interpersonal skills. Those I see is one of the biggest thing which I've seen can make or break an organization because of the COVID.
All right. Sean has a question. How can you develop a culture within the organization that is digital ready? And if you can share some examples.
So I guess the process which I went through for a digital ready culture is this is the what we start with, right? There's a few of the ideas which I told about. One is to make everybody feel that it's a digital world. Try to have all the processes connected with your employees, each and every minutest process, digitize it, right? And try to enhance it with more like, instead of sending a text announcement, a video announcement, gamification, a lot of things can be done, right? So this can be a idea of providing, uplifting your customer experience through your products. This is another idea, right? Investing in exponential technology, but is a long-term goal, right? At organization level, uh, doing some unique things or transforming your business in a particular way, doing those small changes where there's more adoption of the technology. So you can do a lot of these things to start as a digital transformation to for a better workforce. So these are a few of the ideas which I guess which I covered, and you need to pick up any one of them to start with.
Great. Sujit, last question we have. So, do we issue certificates at the end of the skills assessment?
So I would say, do we as an Imoka issue? Yes, we are doing that with one of our customers. It's a large enterprise, and very soon you will see those certificates all over LinkedIn, right? Because it's an organization more than 100,000 plus employees, and we are doing a co-branded certificates with them. So yes, for our skill assessment, previously we had not done, but you need to have this entire gamification element in place. So when we worked with our L&D teams, learning and development teams, one of the things was, yes, we need to have gamification, and that gamification can only happen with some kind of a certification body. It cannot be only your company certification. It has to be kind of co-branded with some third party. So that company asked us to co-brand it with our us. So short answer, yes, we do it to get the entire, like, not only certification but badges also, to get that element of gamification.
All right. I think we have answered all the questions, Sujit. Yeah.
So feel free to reach out to me at sujit@interviewmoka.com anytime if you have any more questions, and I'm happy to help.
Yeah. Thanks, Sujit. Thank you everyone for joining us. This was a very interesting session, and we would be sharing the recordings and some collaterals related to this with all of you soon. From all of us at Imoka, at Imoka, we wish you like a very good day. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Neha. Thanks everyone for joining. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye, Sujit.